Happy Star Wars Day. I am one of the biggest Star Wars fans you will ever meet in your life. And in fact, it was the very first movie I ever saw in the movie theater. Today, I want to talk about Star Wars and what we can learn from the characters in the Star Wars universe about leadership and customer experience. I'm Tony Johnson. I'm a speaker, trainer, and consultant on customer experience, employee engagement, and leadership. So let's kick off by talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn. I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, he works for the Empire. He does, but he is a master strategist and tactician, and he actually, for being an Empire guy, does a fantastic job of actually treating his team well, rewarding and celebrating those that succeed, and finding ways to coach and train those that don't succeed. And he is a kindler, gentler, almost anti-hero from the original books that we got way back in the 90s when Timothy Zahn first started writing about Thrawn. But he is a master strategist that always thinks a couple moves ahead. And so really thinking to ourselves as leaders, we can learn from that, thinking about how do we treat our team? Do we reward and celebrate and train and watch that lead to great execution and service? Or do we really take the path of just beating people down when they don't do the right things and they never learn anything from it? Well, you will see Grand Admiral Thrawn was one of the most successful Grand Admirals in the entire Empire because he treated his team well when no one else in the Empire really did that. Also, thinking about that relationship between how we treat our teams and how they treat customers, another great thing to take away from him, because his great treatment of his team made sure that the very best team members and folks in the Empire and in the Imperial Navy wanted to serve with Grand Admiral Thrawn, so his teams were always high performing. Next, let's talk about Luke Skywalker, and yes, original action figure from the 80s. So Luke's path to growth from farm boy to Grand Master of the Jedi Order was an arduous and long one, but you know what? Along the way, he was self-taught. He learned a lot from Obi-Wan, but he also took the time to train himself. You know, after he was done with Obi-Wan and after Yoda, he took that time to craft his skills. He also was a fantastic leader as he nurtured and trained the next generation of Jedi. And if you think back to the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian, he really could have said, you know, Grogu, you know, Baby Yoda, you need to come with me and really join the Jedi Order, but he didn't. He gave him the opportunity to go off with the Mandalorian and take his own path, if you will, and choose his own path. Great leaders do that. Great leaders give their team room to grow, and sometimes they know, even though they develop them, they may move on to other organizations, but that never stops them from trying to train and develop and care for their teams. And finally, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the sage of the Jedi universe. You know, Obi-Wan was challenged when it came to training Anakin Skywalker and finding that sense of patience to help him along his journey. He also had to find a different kind of set and skill to train Luke as he got started, and then find others like Yoda who could come in and help finish his training. So that's really the mark of a great leader. Can you find that patience? Are you willing to bring in resources for your team? And when you have your failures, as Obi-Wan did with Anakin, will you run for them, or will you face them head on, as Obi-Wan did with Darth Vader in the recent Obi-Wan series? So finding ways to connect with your team, to build that level of trust, to find a way to bring in folks who can really help them grow. And then if you have problems and have setbacks, will you hide them, or will you chase them head on and really take action to fix them? I'm hoping you'll say the second, because that's absolutely the way to go. So those are 3 things that we can learn about leadership and customer service from the Star Wars universe. Who knew that George Lucas and company could teach us so much about how to treat our teams and how to take care of our customers? Probably Yoda knew, but he spent 20 years hiding in a swamp, so we'll cut him some slack. But remember, there's no wrong way to think about your leadership potential and how you grow your teams and how you grow your customer experience, because it all leads to building the very best teams where great talent wants to work and where customers come back again and again. Until next time, I've been Tony Johnson, your customer experience leader, reminding you to keep your customers at the center of everything you do, because that's where the most amazing things are possible. Talk to you soon.